Hi everyone, this is the tutorial for Lies, Lies, Lies. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. Okay, so we're going to need a capo on fret 4 to play this the easiest. If you're in need of a capo, there is a link to one in the description. And we're going to be finger picking quite a lot for this. Now I will talk through the chords, so if you want to strum the chords instead of finger picking, still stick around because I'll be talking through that. However, I'm also going to be breaking down exactly what strings play so you can do it exactly like the track. So, once we've got the capo on fret 4, the first chord shape we need is an A minor. Now there is a very quick riff, which is an open E string, 3 up from the capo, and then 3 on the A string. And then it gets into the full part of the song, which, on that A minor shape, which is a 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, the order of strings that we play, we go A, G, D, B. And I'm using my thumb for the A and the D strings, and I'm using these two fingers for the G and B strings. So try and get used to that pattern. However, for a lot of the chords, including this A minor chord, the thumb starts off on the A string, and then play an open E string, so alternate from the A string and the E string. So not only are you going to loop that round 7 times, you then play the after. We then get into the first verse, which starts off in the exact same way. We then go to an E minor chord and basically do the same thing. We are going to alternate the lowest string with the A string, so watch this slowly. And for the verse, you'll play the A minor chord 4 times, and then the E minor 4 times. You then repeat everything you've just done before we go to a new part of the verse. Just before I show you, if you are interested in getting the tabs that you see throughout this video for the full song, then head on over to Patreon. I also have the chord chart wrote out for this as well, so if you want to strum along and play with the actual track, I've got the chord chart as well as the chords and the lyrics matched up, so 3 different sheets you can grab for just a couple of dollars, and yeah, you have it all wrote out professionally, saves you from trying to write it out or trying to memorize it. So check that out in the link in the description. However, the next part of the verse, we have a G major chord. Normally you play a G major like this. However, we're not going to be playing some of these notes, including that finger. So you can get rid of that finger if you want. In fact, you can get rid of the pointy finger, because we're going to play the E string, which is the 3rd fret, then the open strings of G, D, B. We do that 4 times, like I have there. And then we go to a D minor shape. D minor is this, which is an open D string, 2 on the G, 3 on the B, and a 1 on the high E string. After you've played that twice, remove this finger and play that instead, which is basically a D sus2 chord. So I'll just play through that part because there's even more to play after this. So yeah, maybe check out all the tabs over on Patreon. So we have that G chord, then the D minor, remove the finger. We then have an F bar chord, which we're going to play the low note, which is a 1, 3, 3, 2, and then the finger picks up the last 2 strings. So we have E string, G, D, B. And we play that 4 times before going back to the E minor chord. So, I'm now going to demonstrate the full verse. If you need to skip ahead to the next part, feel free to do that, but just if you want to see how all of this fits together, here we go. E minor, A minor again, E minor, then the G, then the D minor, then without the finger, F, and then the E minor. Now I did play that slow just purely for the tutorial sake, so you can follow along, but yeah, we do need to play a lot faster than that. Yeah, so try and build it up when you practice that. Okay, we then get a second verse, which is 99% the same thing. However, at the very, very end, when you played the F chord, going to an E minor, just play once round the E minor, and then strum a G major chord, a full G major chord, and sustain that for 4 beats, and then we get to the chorus. Okay, so we're going to continue fingerpicking 4 chords. I'll tell you what the chords are first, and I'll show you how to play it, but it's very much the same idea as what you've already done. The first chord is the A minor. We then go down to the F major chord. We then have a C major chord, which we haven't seen yet. 3 on the A string, 2 on the D, an open G, 1 on the B, and an open E string. Before going to this shape here, which is a G major chord, just without the low string, so technically a G/B. And you're going to cycle around those chords, and what we do is we play the A minor. There's the 4 times there. F chord, 4 times. The C chord, 4 times. And then this G/B, 4 more times. And that is the full chorus. Now that chorus repeats a bunch of times. I have wrote it all out professionally over on Patreon, so you can see how many times over there, but basically just keep going and going and going until you get to a third verse, which is exactly the same as the second verse, where you have that sustained G chord at the end, if I can get my words out. And then finally we have a chorus which is exactly the same as the previous chorus, just a few times round, before we finish with an A minor chord to end the song. And there we go, a pretty interesting song. I quite like this one. Very, very fingerpicky, of course, but yeah, it's got a beautiful sound to it, great vocals. So, if you are interested in getting that extra material over on Patreon, like I said earlier, there is a link to that in the description. You get everything wrought out professionally. I also want to say thanks to the people on the screen. Those are my active patrons. So, the moment this video goes live, not only will I get access to all the extra content for this song, 3 pages worth, they will also get access to 300 and plus other songs that I've made over the last few years for the latest releases. So thanks to them, and thanks to you for watching. See you in the next one.